Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to be discussing Balenciaga. I have to admit, a lot of this I missed. I wasn't following it much in the news. It was just brought to my attention some of the backlash they received from their campaign that they did this past fall, where it involved children and some very uncompromising photos or positions in an ad campaign. Now, I discussed before about some of the tactics of the, or whatever name you want to give it, MK Ultra, the Matrix. I've heard many conspiracies about what was going on with this particular company. When I first heard this and I was brought to my attention about some of the things that transpired with the company and some of its, some of the things that were done in its ad campaign being tied to pedophilia. It's pretty disgusting. Some of the things you heard. Myself, who has brought Balenciaga products, and as of right now, until they clear the matter up, I can't support it. You can't support it. I just did a little bit of research on the company. Now, when I do these podcasts, I've said many times before, I try to make them as personal as possible. We all know the name Balenciaga. Right here, you have here is the owner of Balenciaga, Cedric Carbalt. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's the head CEO or the owner of Balenciaga. Now, I've said before that when these attacks happen, there's always people behind it, and there are people who are affected by these attacks. And to make you understand this properly or clearly, I'm going to make this more personal for you. When we hear about the things that's going on in Balenciaga, it's more than just the name Balenciaga. There are people behind it, and there's they pay salaries. This is a corporation or company, very successful internationally. And to help you understand what was going on here, this was an attack on this man, on this company that he's the head of. A lot of times when these things happen, in hindsight, it looks like, man, how could they get themselves in a position like this? Who made them think that, putting some of those images up of children was a good idea? Now, we hear that all the time. You would think, oh, maybe, how could they have not known? I need you to put your thinking caps on for this. We've seen this thing play out with Kanye West, how all this stuff started happening. I was looking at, Kanye West was initially, he was involved with this company and he walked away, in very bad terms. And now I'm seeing why. Initially they wanted Kim K, his former wife, to be a part of it, of Balenciaga, and not Kanye. Kanye came in later as a secondary choice, and Mr. West had brought that up on several occasions, that he took the blow for what was meant for his former wife, Kim Kardashian. Now, if you look at what happened with Kanye and how everything transpired, now I need you to separate some of the things that we saw between Kanye, Balenciaga, Mr. Carbit, the owner of, or the CEO of Balenciaga, and look at what transpired during the whole ordeal. Whole thing started with the ad campaign. And I said before, when these companies, get founded or run by individuals, there's shareholders, stockholders. It's more than just the name. As you see here, I have the face of the owner or the CEO of Balenciaga. Here, these are the people behind it. You know, after the whole episode with the ad campaign and the children, you know, their stock prices plummeted by 22%. Now, there's no way in the world anyone in that company would have signed off on this if they knew this would have happened. And in hindsight, of course, they wouldn't have done that. But look, this is how these things are played out. These companies can get so big, and a lot of times, they're in their own worlds, and they don't see the attack coming when it happens. When they pull something out like this, they get the biggest names, they get celebrities, and as you can see, one of their first choices was Kim Kardashian, and then comes in Kanye West to take her place. This attack was initially supposed to affect Balenciaga or Mr. Cedric here, was to attack his company. That attack was going to include Kim K, which eventually wound up being Kanye West, who backed off just before this whole episode with the children. Now, the person you see behind me, the owner, he was attacked the same way Kanye was attacked, the same way Balenciaga was attacked. People are blaming here, they're blaming the victim for the attack. Now, when you saw what happened to Kanye, let me explain this. When we first saw what happened to Kanye and all the mess that he got into, some could say that he was taken advantage of. He wasn't in the right state of mind. He just came off a traumatic situation and was literally having a breakdown on TV in front of everyone. He said this many times. He lost $2 billion, after some of the interviews that he did, and his divorce from his former wife and all the problems he had at home. Whoever was behind this attack on Mr. Kanye West saw this and took advantage of it. Now, go back to this company here. Whatever came in to this company, whatever it was, this was a takedown. Let me explain how these things happen. A lot of times when you look at situations like this that happen with these companies, these companies are vying for position. The fashion industry is very competitive. It's very similar to the music industry. They have industry plants to see what the other group is doing. When they can't get a head of them, they'll put in attacks. They'll bring people into their camps to disrupt. They'll have almost like a Trojan horse, someone in the company there to disrupt. Now, when this happened, this whole marketing campaign, this thing was probably pitched. We're going to do it this way. By the time this stuff got released, the campaigns aren't that big. Someone does a photo shoot, puts a couple of photos out, and if they take off, they take off. So the people who were behind this, who took those pictures, literally set up Balenciaga to take the fall. Now listen, Balenciaga, they'll be fine. I must admit, the last time I was at the mall, doing for shopping, the store was empty. They felt the pinch from that hit that they got. Now, with that being said, it won't stay that way. Not too long ago, a few years ago, Gucci went through the same thing, saying got in trouble for putting out a line that was very disrespectful to the black community. And the same thing with them. They took the hit, and it happened pretty much the same way that it happened here with Balenciaga. Happened with the photos that got released and started a whole big mess. Stock prices dropped. Guess what? To this day, Gucci has bounced back and doing better than ever. Same thing is going to happen here. But this is the thing you need to pay close attention to. When these stock prices drop, now keep in mind, Balenciaga took a 22% stock drop. So the people, you may ask, why would they do this? The people behind this, it's all about the money. Remember, they value money more than anything. They're godless individuals. They love money more than anything. They don't care about this man, his company, or the people he employed, or the stockholders who invest in his company. This was a group that was set out to destroy the company or to damage it, lower the stock prices, drop by 22%. A company like this won't be down forever. There's too many brilliant designers. They have a very large following. They'll put some money into an ad campaign, wash everything over. They already put out their apologies and they're doing their rebuilding after this attack. Now, stock prices are already on their way up. Now, keep this in mind. The people who set this up, if you know anything about stocks, you can bet on a stock price going down. So they put their money in on attacking this company, probably put in billions of dollars into that on a stock option to sabotage this company, to watch the stock prices dropping by 22%. Now they know it won't last. Guess what? They're going to take that money and put it right back into this company coming back up. See how the game's played? Listen, these things happen all the time. You wonder, where do these things come from? These are hits that play out with different celebrities or different people who are influenced. They quite possibly, I'm not going to say that. I'll keep that to myself. But these things can play out so many different ways. That's why you can't get caught up with it. It's all a show. These people are very smart. They're making billions of dollars. We're doing this whole scandal. People made billions of dollars off of this because it was almost like a self-sabotage. Not a self-sabotage. Someone comes in knowing that they're going to sabotage the company stock, and they already put in a stock option for the stock prices to drop. So they made billions off this thing dropping, and then guess what? They're going to take that money and put it right back in to the same company they helped destroy and make money off of it as it tries to recoup. It's brilliantly done if you look at it that way. They've always do this, and you keep in mind they run this cycle almost. You're going to see this at least twice a year or once. You're going to see something like this. Some company gets hit, stock prices drop because there's someone in the background making money on those stock options to destroy the company, and then they'll take that money that they make and then reinvest it right back in the company that they helped destroy. Simple as that. So don't get caught up in it. It's all a distraction. We have a presidential election coming. We have 2 American citizens that are locked up over there in Russia. Mark Fogle and Paul Whelan, American teacher and a former U.S. Marine that need to get back home. And we also have an election coming, which could be the most influential election in this country's history. So stay focused and don't fall for the okadoke. And I'll leave it at that. And good day.